Who is hungry? I haven't got any food or anything. I'm just asking the question. Is anyone hungry for something that is not food? Oh, that's a more tough question, isn't it? Yeah. Go on. What are you hungry for? Grass. Moo. So we might be hungry for a place where we can play. I'm changing it and being creative. Well, a place where we can play. We're hungry for somewhere where we can play and we can go and play football, because that might be. Think anyone? Yes. Knowledge. We can be hungry for knowledge. Every time we sit there, we're watching those quiz shows and we think, I know nothing. And we might be thinking, I'm hungry for knowledge. Anyone else hungry for anything? Yes. Football. We can be hungry for football. We can be hungry to watch things. Yes. The fullness of the love of God. Yeah, we can be hungry for more of God in our lives, can't we? We can be hungry for that just knowing God more. Knowledge. We can be hungry for more. Lots of things. Yeah, we can be hungry for. The people were following Jesus. They were following Jesus. They had been following Jesus for some time. They'd listened to loads of stories of his. They'd listened to loads of teaching. Then Jesus went across the other side of the lake and he thought they would have a bit of space, a bit of time. But the crowds followed. The crowds followed and they caught up and they said, well, we want to listen, we want to listen, we want to listen. They were hungry to listen to Jesus. And that's a challenge, isn't it? It's just a challenge right at the beginning of the service. How hungry are we to listen to Jesus? How hungry are we to find out more about Jesus? How hungry are we? Do we, when you're hungry for food and you smell it, someone's cooking or you're cooking and you smell the food and it's like, oh. And I'm not sure if it's only dogs that salivate, but it's like that, isn't it? And we sort of like, and we start, no, we don't, do we? We control ourselves more than that. But if we're really hungry, and then there's this food, and we're so keen to get it, we're so keen, and then the food comes, and we think, take time, don't just put it all in one mouth, but take time and enjoy the food. But we enjoy the food, and it's like the best thing to deal with our hunger. And why aren't we hungry like that for God's word, for what Jesus is teaching us? To be hungry, to say, yeah, I want more of that, I want more of that, and I want to consume it, and I won't be satisfied until I get some more. So that's what the people seemed, this crowd, they wanted more food, more of Jesus' teaching. But then it got late. It got late in the day and the people were hungry. So what could a Jesus have done? That's always a good question. What could have Jesus done in that stage? So why not? Let's do this. There's a question. What could have Jesus, the one who made the world, the one who can create things out of nothing, all that sort of stuff, what could Jesus have done when there's this massive crowd of people who are really hungry? There's no food. The shops are miles away. No one's got any money anyway. So what could Jesus have done? Turn to the person next to you and answer that question. What could he have done? Not what did he do, but what could Jesus have done? If you hear someone, shuffle along, say hello. If you don't recognize who they are, say hello to them. What could Jesus have done? Just put food in everyone's bellies. That's what I was thinking. Right, so what could Jesus have done? Who could? Oh, you got to come forward. Can you run around with this microphone to anyone who's got their hand up, who wants to say something about what could Jesus have done? Go to these two at the front. Let's be brave.
Share.
Sorry? Share. He could have shared, but he hasn't got anything to share. He's got anything to share. So what could have Jesus done? Is anyone out there? Near the back? I'm looking for people. It's just you were all talking, but you were talking about the weather and who's going to win the Solheim Cup and things like that, weren't you? That's what you were talking about, right?
He could have materialised a banquet.
He could have just brought a banquet out of nothing. And just gone, bam, and made a banquet out of nothing. Yep.
He could have taken away their hunger feeling.
He could have taken away their hunger feelings. He could have just made them feel, right at the back. Okay, quickly, run.
He could have sent them home.
He could have sent them home, and he could have provided chariots to get them home quickly so they didn't collapse on the way because they were so hungry. He could have, anything else? Yeah, right in the back, right in the back corner. Oh, that's a different way of going.
He could have asked anyone if they had any food.
He could have asked. I know, but he's the Son of God. He could do anything. I think he could have done so much more than that. That's sort of what he did do. So he could have done, and I think these things, he could have made a banquet. He could have brought, that in the days when they had escaped from Egypt, and they were going through the desert, and just came out down from the sky was this stuff that is roughly translated in English as, but it was what this came down. They called it manna in the Bible, but in English, we would refer to it as, came down from the sky and fed the people every day. There was enough to feed them. And so Jesus could have gone, Father, give them some, and it will come down. We call it because no one has any idea what it was. It was just good stuff that fed them. And so he could have provided some and it would have gone in. He could have made them feel not hungry. He could have just filled their bellies with food. That's what he could have done. He could have done, couldn't he? He could have just filled their bellies with food. He could have made them suddenly able to have the stomachs of cows or whatever, and given them able to eat the grass. He could have done all sorts of things because that's what Jesus could do. Yeah, that's the thing that we have to think. This is what Jesus could have done. So why did he do what he did do? We're going to read together what happened that first afternoon when people were fed by Jesus. And I need someone, you made friends of Jesus, okay? Because they're young, I need someone to be Jesus who's happy to read for me. It's your time you're wasting. I've always wanted to say that. That's just great. Right, come on. Who's going to be Jesus? You're going to be the friends of Jesus. That's a really important part. I'm holding that for you. So, someone, I'm going to have to. Bart, he's on the stage already. Pick up a microphone. You'll need. There you go. And you're the bits where it says Jesus. Right, okay. And then anyone who's under 16 will be a friend of Jesus. Yeah, that's all you lot. Yourself and some others at the back over there. You'll be a friend of Jesus. Okay, so there's lots to read. No, you can stay there because you've got to be able to see the screen. So you can stay sitting down. But you can join. Yeah, you can join down at the front. Thank you, Anna. Right. So there's going to be lots of words. So this is, you know, the rhyme. What's the time, Mr. Wolf? Yeah. Well, we're going to have a little sort of creative reading using the rhyme. What's the time? But not what's the time, Mr. Wolf? But what's the time, Mr. Shepherd? Because Jesus is the shepherd, so they're referring Jesus to what's the time, Mr. Shepherd? Or what's the time, oh crowds? What's the time, friends? Because the children are the friends of Jesus, the disciples of Jesus. You lot, the rest of you, are the crowd, the rubble, the rough lot. the hungry lot. You're the ones that are hungry. So you need to respond, and we'll see if we'll practice some of this. If we'll see. So it's all going to come up on the screen. So the first thing that happens is the friends. If it says your name in brackets, you have to say what it says. So the friends, you have to say together, what's the time, Miss Shepherd? Are you ready? Brilliant. Go on then, Shepherd.
It's downtime because I'm tired. It's me time because I'm sad. It's rest time because we're tired. It's alone time because we're exhausted. It's us time because we need it. It's time out and it's time off.
Are you ready, friends? Next bit. Right, you ready, crowds?
What's the time, my friends?
Right, friends, this is our bit. You ready? No, not what's the time? That's Jesus' bit. He's asked you that. You've got, it's time. It's time. They weren't here, they replied. It's time to say no, they agreed. It's time to shut up shop, they asserted. Their time is up. And then you ask Jesus, what's the time, Mr. Shepherd?
It's their time, he smiled. It's not just our time, but it's always time for others, he giggled. It's story time again. It's their time again.
Right, and now you've got to ask the crowds. Are you ready, friends? Right. What's the time, crowds?
What's the time, friends?
Right, come on. You agree this, not just sort of, right. So it's time to go, it's time they went, it's time for home, the friends said. So now, the friends and the crowd, are you ready? You've got to ask the shepherd.
It's time to care time. It's time to share time. It's fish and bread time. It's God's time. It's more and more time.
Keep going, crowd.
It's picnic time. It's party time. It's playtime. It's feast time. And they ate, and they ate, and they ate.
Are you ready, friends? Let's keep asking Jesus, what's the time, Mr. Shepherd?
It's pick up crumbs time. It's clear up leftovers time. It's miracle upon miracle time. Can't say that. It's more than enough time. It's the best of times.
So let's all ask him, what's the time, Mr. Shepherd?
Now it's home time. Now it's your time. Now it's will you believe it time. Because it's time and time again time.
So let's all say together, when God steps into time, when God takes a little, makes it a lot, when God takes our moments and makes them forevers, when God takes our lives and fills them up with plenty left over, for now and for all time, time after time after time. Oh, thank you. So yeah, the story, Jesus says to the disciples, to his friends, what have you got? What have you got? He doesn't say, what have I got? What have I got? Look at what I'm going to do. Look at what I'm going to provide. He says, what have you got? And they say, we've only got these 5 fish and 2 loaves. I always get that round the wrong way. Is that right? 5 loaves and 2 fish. Thank you. I always think anyway, 5 loaves and 2 fish. And Jesus says, oh, thank you. That's enough. Because you've provided what you have. You've provided what you have. And that's really precious because Jesus says, I'm going to take from what you've given and provide enough to feed their hunger. You know, the problem with a committee, well, if individually I think I can do nothing, a committee can together agree that we can do nothing. Yeah, that's the definition of a committee in my eyes. But it's that thing, isn't it, that so often a committee can get together, a group of friends to get together and think, oh, we can't do anything. We're not strong enough. We're not big enough. We're not wealthy enough. We're not enough. Whatever it might be, it's that thing that we're not enough. Whereas Jesus says, yeah, this is enough. Whatever you can give, that's enough. If you have faith as small as a tiny seed, that is enough, Jesus says. Yeah, if you have that faith that is just small enough, that is enough for him to do much, much more than we can possibly imagine. But it's that challenge, isn't it? Is it enough? Because how does God do that? I had a little illustration. Philip, here's a bit of paper for you. Can you choose someone else to give another bit of paper to? You? Who was that to? Was that to Sue? Yeah, come on. Oh, Reg will do. Come on, Reg. You've got another bit of paper. Right, Reg and Philip, can you stand up? Reg, stand up. It's right. You haven't got to do anything with it. Reg, stand up. You've got to count. Okay. How many corners are on your bit of paper? 4. Because we're dealing in corners today. It's corners that we're dealing with. So you've got 4 corners. Can you rip off a bit of the paper? Or tear it neatly, it's up to you. Rip off, yeah, that's it. Give that to someone. The bit that you've ripped off. Oh, okay, you can give the whole thing if you want. Give the bit that you've ripped off. Right, how many corners have you got? 3. How many corners have you got? He tipped it. 5. How many corners have you got? 5. Right. Okay. So keep ripping bits off and keep giving it to people around the church. Just don't do it slowly. Just do it fast. And if you get a big bit, You could always rip it in half and give one to someone else. That's it. Keep going, Reg. Reg, move. Right, that's it. And that's it. So he's sharing. And if you've got a big bit, you might want to tear it and give it to someone else. You might want to make it into a little shape. Is it keep tearing? We've got, that's it. We've got, that's over there. That's it. You could give your row and things. So who has now got a corner? At least one corner. You put your hand up if you've got a corner. We're getting there. Keep going, Philip. There's lots of people over there that haven't got any. Just give them a bit and then they can rip it in half. And it's good. You've got corners. You got 4? You got 11? Yeah. Excellent. You've got 1, 2, 3. You've got 5 there, haven't you? 4. Oh, okay. Reg, have you not got any paper left, Reg? You're so generous, mate. You're meant to still hold with that. You keep hold of that. Right. Philip's doing well. Right. So now we started off. I know this is silly, and you're thinking, well, it's not magic or anything. But it's that simple thing, isn't it? We started off with 2 bits of paper that had 4 corners. We had 4 corners each, and now, Philip, how many corners have you got? 7. So Philip's got 7 corners. Reg, you've got 4. So Reg has still got 4. Philip's got 7. They've still got as much as they started with, or if not more. But not only that, there are so many people in this room who have also now got 3 corners, 6 corners. Has anyone got more than 6 corners? Yeah, how many have you got? 8 corners. You've got 11. Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? You can have so many corners. And you think, yeah, that's so simple. But the reality is God doesn't just say, yeah, I'll divide it up. But God, when we give something to God, he can do immeasurably more. Yes, Jesus could have said, I will feed 5,000 people just by doing something amazing. And he could have done. We know that. But Jesus chose to use those 5 loaves and 2 fish. That's all I've got. That's all we've got, Lord. You've got to send them away. They're a problem. The disciples were saying. Yeah, the crowd it's going to get nasty. They're a problem. And it's so easy, isn't it, to think, oh, it's a problem. Whatever crowd we have, whatever big stuff we see, it's a problem. Whereas Jesus looks at the crowd and sees what could be. He loves them. And he says, what could be? What have you got? What have you got? Well, we've got 5 loaves and 2 fish. Well, we've got 4 corners. Well, I've got... What have you got that you could give? What have you got that you could offer to God? That you could offer to Jesus? It might not be a lot. It might not be a lot. It might just be a particular skill that you have. It might be a particular talent. It might be a particular way of talking to people. It might be a way of serving. It might be a way of, being in a certain place and being comfortable in a certain place. It might be all these things. It might be that you can think of what is the little that you have. What is the little that you have? How could you give that to God? Because he could do immeasurably more than we could possibly imagine when we give him just a little. anyone who comes to me will never be hungry, Jesus said. For I'm the bread of life. I will keep providing. I will keep providing. Yeah, so we're continuing this theme, this term of who do you say I am? Who do you say I am? Well, Jesus, yeah, you're the provider, but you're the multiplier. Jesus, you're the multiplier, the amplifier, the one who takes a little and makes it so much more. Jesus, do that in my life. Do that in my life. Do that in my relationships. Do that in my family. Do that in this church, Lord. Take a little. It's what we've got. And Jesus, let's imagine what Jesus could do when we give a little, when we give what we have to give. Let's reflect and just respond to that in a way in song. As we say, Lord, I offer you my life. Yes, this isn't a little, it's everything. But you might think, well, my life isn't, there's not much. It's just me. I'm just me. What could I do with all? But Jesus says, yeah, what can you offer? Offer a little, offer your life. Because what Jesus can do with one life that's dedicated to him. Yeah, we'll stay seated as we just sing this song. And yeah, if you want to sing, please do. If you want to just pray, please do. If you want to turn to the person next to you and say, please pray for me, please do. But let's sing together.